All right, guys. The gate was $11 million. The attendance was 19,481. Fight of the night, Gaethje and Pimblett. And then performance of the nights went to Miller and Hookett.
Dana, opening weekend in the books with Paramount Plus. I mean, obviously the way it ended was pretty spectacular, but can you just assess kind of the launch as a whole, like how you thought it went versus expectations, and are there any metrics or measurements that you have already just to value it?
Yeah, so let's just put it there. We'll have numbers. I just talked to Ari. Ari said we'll have numbers on Tuesday or Wednesday, but this exceeded expectations beyond belief for Paramount. So we know it killed it. We just don't know the exact number yet.
Killed it.
They're saying it exceeded by like double.
Wow, exceeded the expectations by double.
Yeah.
And what were your thoughts on just them as a partner, the way it was presented, the broadcast, etc.?
It's unexplainable how enthusiastic and incredible these guys have been leading up to the first fight. So yeah, we got a real good feeling that this is going to be a great relationship for the next 7 years.
Fantastic, and obviously delivered in the main event. It's capped off with a war. Just give us your thoughts on Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett delivering a 5-round battle.
Yeah, I mean, what a couple. So Paddy Pimblett at the weigh-ins yesterday says, "I'm going to knock this motherfucker out tomorrow." And I was like, that's interesting. And he never abandoned that game plan. Even when, he got dropped a couple times, I kept waiting for him. I'm like, he's eventually going to have to shoot and try to submit him. Now, I didn't know Paddy Pimblett had a chin like that till tonight. And, yeah, absolute dogfight in a war, and much respect to both guys.
We haven't seen Justin yet, so we don't know what his status is physically. But, I mean, is the interim, is the unification fight have to be next? Or is there a case if he's hurt and needs to be out for a while?
Apparently he's 100%. So we sent Paddy Pimblett straight to the hospital, and then we're going to send Gaethje too. And Gaethje's like, believe me, I've been in plenty of wars. I'm good. So as far as we know right now, he's healthy.
I love it. You talked about the bonuses. You mentioned that you were going to increase the amounts. They were but the finish bonuses that were implemented tonight, that's something that's been kind of talked about for years as maybe a possibility. What got you to the finish line to say, yeah, let's give bonuses for every finish?
So what has been happening forever in this company since we started this company is every night I would tell you guys, oh, these guys won these bonuses, but everybody on the card would get a check for different dollar amounts depending on how they fought, ranging anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 every event. So those are going away, and now, finishes will get a $25,000 bonus.
Very nice. Did want to ask you about the co-main event as well. Sean O'Malley with a big win for him. You thought of his performance, and also, him saying he wants a title shot next. Is that even a possibility? We're not going to make fights tonight, but do you view that as potentially an option, or do you feel like no?
The only thing we've been focused on was this weekend, the launch of boxing, and then tonight. And now starting Monday, all I'm focused on is the White House event. So, we have fights made all the way up to, we have fight cards already built all the way up to March and April. So I don't know yet.
Lastly, for me, we did have a fight cancellation today. Not a lot of details on the information of what happened there. There's speculation that maybe this was a wagering flag. What can you tell us?
That's what it is. Yeah. Happened again. We got called from the Gaming Integrity Service, and I said, I'm not doing this shit again. So we pulled the fight.
Dana, I remember when Paddy first arrived in the UFC, you were saying stuff like, well, his entrance is good and it's all well and good to get the fans, but he needs to be able to fight. Obviously, we've seen him have great wins before, but to show the durability he had in that fight tonight, do you feel like even though he lost, he will be considered one of the best in that division moving forward?
No doubt about it. I mean, he was the favorite tonight. I think that's what fucked him. Every other one, he's the underdog and everybody thinks he's going to lose. Tonight, he's the favorite. I don't think that his game plan was the greatest. Obviously, tonight he showed he is tough, he is durable, and almost impossible. I mean, especially against Gaethje. And you're eating those punches from him. It's one thing to say, listen, I'm going to come out. I know I believe in my durability. I believe in my chin, and I'm going to go toe-to-toe with this guy. But when it starts to not work, at some point you got to say, you know what? It's the third round. I got 2 rounds left. I might want to try to take him down and submit him here.
Obviously, we are no longer on pay-per-view, so there was a bit of a different viewing experience tonight. There was a lot of ads during the broadcast, sometimes over the walks and sometimes over the corner work. Is that something fans are going to have to get used to, or is that a work in progress that you'll change going
I haven't
forward?
seen it yet, and all this is a work in progress. It's $8.99. You're not paying fucking, however much anymore. These guys gotta make some money too. So, yeah.
Would that be something that they decide, or would you watch it back and maybe think, okay, co-main event, we should still hear the corner work, or are you just like, listen, Paramount paid for it, they get to decide?
Well, that is a fact. Let's start there. But these guys are incredible to work with already, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And for you personally, right, massive night, Paramount Plus, so the start of a brand new deal, as well as Zuffa Boxing. I know you're already looking forward to the White House, but if you could say how much this weekend has meant to you personally, what would you say about being able to launch boxing and the new deal and new era?
It'll mean something to me at the end of 26. I don't think like that. I'm like, wow, this is a special day for me. I just don't think that way. The way that I think is, we're going into a new deal. We got a lot of work to do, especially on the boxing side. And after Christmas, I usually go away like the 26th every year, and I'm gone for like 10 days. And that's when I start to think about, how the year was and what we're going to do in 27. So the end of the year, I'll start thinking about that stuff, depending on where we are.
Damn, right.
Thanks, yeah.
What did you make of Waldo Acosta's performance? Because all week it was Derrick, Trump's favorite fighter. Derrick, will you fight at the White House? And then he goes in there, and now it seems like you have a superstar in Waldo who wants to fight essentially every month.
Yeah, I don't know if we were saying that Derrick's going to fight. What we said is the president loves Derrick Lewis. So, depending on how the fight turned out. But we put him in that fight because, yeah, he's the kind of guy we love. The fact this guy always wants to fight, take last-minute fights, got poked in the eye and comes back out and keeps fighting. I think that he's got a bright future.
He says he wants to fight 6 times this year.
I love it.
And then what did you think of John Silva's week as a whole? Kind of a kooky character, kept calling himself autistic at the press conferences, and then he jumped on Arnold Allen's back at the end of the fight. I guess, what did you just make of his whole week?
I thought him jumping on his back was kind of cool, actually. That was and very athletic, by the way. The other stuff is pretty kooky. I would agree with you.
And then Natalia Silva said, leading into this fight with Rose, she was promised that if she had got through Rose, she would get a title shot. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And then Atiba Gauthier is obviously, it seems like he has all the tools to be a superstar. He went 15 minutes for the first time. A lot of people thought online, say fraud checked, but he said he was very happy to get 15 minutes in there. What did you make of his performance?
What's the question again?
Atiba's performance. He went 15 minutes for the first time. He said he was very happy to get 3 rounds under his belt.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say about that, but yeah, all right.
And then just final one for me, unrelated to this fight. I don't know if you saw, but Conor McGregor did a live stream a couple weeks ago, and someone was asking about his contract negotiations, and he said it was essentially voided because a lot of it had to do with pay-per-view sales, and now there are no pay-per-view.
Who said this?
Conor.
Okay.
Have you heard those quotes? And he said he was going to enter renegotiations with you guys because of his contract situation.
I have not, no.
Dana over here.
Yep.
Congratulations on an amazing night. Wondering, one of the big things that's been thrown out, multiple titles for the White House. Fans are wondering, well, how are they going to spread out, across the schedule over the summer?
Did you hear me say? Did I say that?
That's the rumor that's out there. Is that
from
untrue?
who? Who's the rumor? Where'd you see that?
A lot of people on the internet. I'm assuming
Okay,
they're wrong.
sounds legit.
A lot of
I
fans.
literally have not fucking said one thing about the White House, and that we're not even talking about it, thinking about it, or anything until Monday.
Love it. Thank you.
All right.
Another question.
Yeah.
Fans are
I
wondering.
can't wait to hear this one.
Fans are wondering if more of the back catalog from the UFC library is going to make it to Paramount Plus. There's a lot of numbered events, but fans are also looking to watch more of the fight nights. Do you know if there are any plans for that?
Oh, the fight nights aren't up there?
There's a lot of main events, but some people want to go back through some of the older fights that weren't the headliners from past fight nights.
Okay. Who said this?
A lot of the fans online that just want to watch more old fights.
I'm on it.
Dana,
Yeah.
everyone and especially the fighters had a very positive reaction on bonuses going up today. Are these changes related to the new Paramount deal at all? And can we expect more positive changes anytime soon for the fighters?
Are you two together? Yeah, it definitely 100% has to do with Paramount.
Unexpectedly for many people, this was one of the best events ever. And can you just tell like how proud you are like to deliver such a
I
big
don't.
show?
I don't ever feel that way. That's not the way I ever feel about anything. I look at the show completely different than everybody else does, and I'm just always looking to how can we do better than, next weekend than we did this weekend. So thank you. I don't know if I answered your question, but
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.
So, do you have some updates about the eye of Thomas Pinal and a potential rematch against Cyril Gane?
Do you have any updates about the eye of Tom Aspinall, and is there a rematch in the works?
Oh, Jesus. Don't let me talk about Tom Aspinall's eye. Apparently, he's going in for a second surgery or just had it, and by surgery, I mean injections. I have no idea.
Thank you, sir.
Get a quote from him. God fucking forbid I say something about it. Go ahead.
Queer Dana. Lots of fans online said that Armand was snubbed from this interim belt fight, and I just want to know if you've had.
They're all right.
I want to know if you've spoken with him because he was at the fight tonight regarding his timeline.
I said hi to him. That was it. We shook hands, said hi.
And you mentioned that you made all the cards up until the White House. Will Armand be on one of those cards?
Off the top of my head, I don't know if he's on one of them. Probably.
Thank you, Dana.
Yep. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Dana, for Paddy Pimblett, you mentioned his chin. And of course, as fans, we can only be, it's kind of horrible when a fighter has the end of a career like Tony Ferguson or Chuck Liddell, where he takes too much damage. Is it something that concerns you to see a fighter that takes as much damage as early?
As Paddy did tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got dropped a bunch of times and obviously took some big shots from a guy who knocks everybody out. But I don't know if that, if it's going to, you could say the same thing about Justin Gaethje. How was his chin going to be after the Max Holloway fight? So it's tough to tell. You don't ever want to see guys take too much punishment, but I don't know if tonight, affected Paddy's, longevity in his career at all. He showed tonight that he's tough, he's durable, and he could take a punch. He could take a lot of punches, actually.
And yeah, just the last one. And now that it seems that it's going to be Gaethje versus Topuria, it's probably going to be a crazy fight also, most likely striking. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I think that Ilya hits like a truck, and so does Gaethje. And I think if Gaethje prepares properly and gets ready for this fight, it should be a fun one.
Dan, just to follow up on the canceled fight from today,
Yep.
what happens now? Is there an investigation?
Yeah, I mean, the FBI's already, deep into all this stuff anyway, so I'm sure this one will be next.
Right, so are those guys out of action until something concludes, or is it just one side of the fight?
That I don't know.
Okay. And you guys are still on pay-per-view in some markets. I saw people from Canada, the UK being signing up for Paramount. What is this? I guess what's your message to the fans in places where you still have longer deals and they're still being charged, the $80 or whatever the case may be?
What's my message to them?
Yeah, well, just because they look and they're probably jealous of the situation over here.
Well, I mean, even when we were doing pay-per-view in the United States, in other regions, pay-per-view doesn't really exist. There's only a couple. You got the UK and you got Australia, I think.
Canada as well.
And there's of course. I mean, I don't look at Canada as but the rest of the world was watching it for free on whatever subscription they had, or just part of doing business.
And also, like, I'm sure this is something that gets figured out over time, but it seems like there's a delay from the live action to the stream, which is natural, of course, with streaming. But people wonder how that impacts live betting and things like that over time. Is that something that's being, discussed at all or thought?
I'd never thought about it. It's a great question, but yeah, I mean, if you're on a delay, depending on how bad the delay is, you probably wouldn't even be able to live bet. By the time you wanted to bet on something, it'd probably be over. But even the delay has got to be, they got to be 15, 20 seconds or something. It's not like there's some huge delay in the broadcast. You can tell that when I watch the fights when I'm in other countries, whether I'm on vacation or something, and I'm in a group text with the matchmakers, and they're, talking about shit I haven't seen yet. But it's only like a 20-second, 30-second delay. But I don't know the answer to that question.
And just lastly, Justin Gaethje obviously, further solidifies himself as a great tonight, the first two-time interim champion, tied for the most fight of the night bonuses now in UFC history. I know he had some comments earlier this week. He said an offer had been made. You didn't get a response. Did you guys get a chance to get on the same page? Or?
Talk to him about that.
Okay.
I don't talk about guys' money. If he wants to talk about it, he can. I'm not.
Thank you.
Over here. For the in-arena experience, we saw a little bit of shift in production. We saw that cool curtain drop promo before the main card, and also Bruce Buffer doing that "It's Time" intro. Are those things moving forward part of these Paramount experiences inside the arena? Or was it like a one and done to celebrate the new era?
Yeah, I mean that was for tonight, the launch. I mean, we always do different stuff depending on what the event is. But on TV tonight, new graphics package, and the show felt different. You already heard people talking about the commercials and stuff like that. But yeah, same shit.
Dana?
No, yeah.
Dominic Cruz is going into the Hall of Fame. I just wanted to know, your thoughts of him as a champion, and now he's an employee of the UFC as a broadcaster. Just overall thoughts on Dom.
Yeah, obviously that's why he's part of the broadcast. He's, accomplished a lot of great things. I love having guys on the commentary team that can talk about the pressure of big fights, what it's like to be in title fights, guys that know it. And, Dom is definitely one of those guys who helped build that division for us when we brought it in from the WEC.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dana over here.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one thing that shined a lot of light and chaos on the early prelims was Josh Hokett's post-fight interview. Did you see it, and what did you think?
I didn't. I heard about it. I didn't see it. I don't love it.
Thank you, Dana.
Yeah. Nobody's asked me about the ref blowing his ACL during the fight.
Yeah. Was it an Achilles or his ACL?
ACL. Yeah.
Have you seen that one before?
Huh?
You seen that before?
Just Buffer.
Yeah.
Buffer's the only one I've ever seen blow an ACL that wasn't fighting.
What did you think of Umar tonight?
Yeah.
Good.
What's not to think about Umar, Any other questions?
Did he blow his ACL like
Yeah, I blew his ACL.
in the fight?
Yeah.
5 minutes into the fight, or do you
I don't know what the time was, but yeah, he blew his. They had to carry him out of there. Good? Good night, you guys. Thanks.